Hi, and welcome to a new episode of Sparks by Vino Vonk. My name is Jeroen, and I'm guiding you to the world of wine, spirits, innovative drinks. And today we're combining these two, something innovative and wine. We're talking about Retsina. So if you don't like Retsina, please stay here because this Retsina is something you really want to have. And I will talk about it with the winemaker, of course. And the winemaker today is Eleni Kechri. From Kalos 1979. I thought it was my wine because my date of birth, year of birth, but it's also something else, and we're going to talk about it. So,
And
Eleni,
also the date of
Kalimera.
birth. Hello, Jeroen. I'm very glad I'm here. Thank you very much
Thank you very much for the time, and thank
for
you
the
very much for
invitation.
sending me these three great bottles. But for the people who don't know you, could you shortly introduce yourself?
I'm Oenologue, winemaker, 30 and more years. I started my first degree, chemical engineering, in the school here of Thessaloniki, Apithita. And after I studied in Bordeaux, enology and droit économie et gestion de la filière vitivinicole, which means in English, management of wine industries, wineries. After I came back to Greece, anyway, I was working all over my studies and in Germany, some months in France and in Greece here in the family winery. And I continued to work and like an enologue at this time when I came back, and I made different efforts and different things of winemaking and Retsina I focused because it was the tradition also of the family, and because I liked it a lot, like a very, very different way of seeing the wine and very, very Greek. But in the same hand, as I was very technician and I like a lot technology and the innovation, the science, I'm very focused with the engineering and the technology. I have started to think it differently also, and there is a lot of years that I'm making researches, and this is the last research that drove me to this new project. And there is from 2020 that I am focusing in this, that we'll explain later, in this specific research and in this specific project, which is now my own project. The company is 1979. I'll explain why. It's a Retsina focused project. And I'm verifying this new project and I'm making scientific researches for this because I was making all the time for this specific type of Retsina from 2020. So have vintages from 2020, but I have launched it 10 months now. It's the first time that we have launched it in the market. And
So the company is very young, but your research is very long. And
the research is as long as I have finished my studies, but in specific research of Retsina, I have made two big researches from 2018. But before also we had researches that were focused on Retsina, but not in this way. And in my last focus, it is also very special to the resin and to the terroirs that we found of the resin and to the resin sustainable that wasn't before, because I found roads. You see, every step drives you to another.
yeah.
Even now, I have launched in my mind, and we have asked for another research if we are taking it, that will be in the resin, in the sustainable resin, but something else plus. So we are walking the way of Retsina.
Yeah, we're going into the deep right now, but for the people who don't know what Retsina is, could you briefly explain what?
Briefly, because it's a lot of things, Retsina. And for me, it's really a culture, Retsina, not only a wine. It's a type of wine recognized like appellation by tradition from 1979, presentendial degree. That's why 1979, the company, because focuses to Retsina and to the new era, modern era of Retsina for us. I will explain. But Retsina exists more than 500 years, almost 700 years. Sorry, 7,000 years. 500 years in Greece that we know from the antiquity for sure. And ancient Greeks were producing Retsina. They were not named it Retsina, but it was a wine with resin because the resin was inside in the amphoreas in order to isolate it from the oxygen during the alcoholic fermentation because amphoreas could seal. So they would seal also the cup after the finishing of the vinification because during the vinification amphoreas in earth was the tank. It was in earth in order to absorb the temperature and to keep it because they had not cooling systems. And after they were bottling them in smaller amphoreas and they were covering with a cup. This cup was from clay or from wood, but they wanted also to isolate it from rocks, and so they had not silicone the period. So they were using the pines, which is the plant of the Mediterranean. So these two plants, the vine and the pine, are in the life together. So they have created Retsina. So this is the history of Retsina, and they were used to this part. Nowadays, it is a very specific type of wine. Could be white, teal, rosé, or claret, but 99% it is a white wine. And in both cases, white or rosé, during the alcoholic fermentation, we have a contact, like a wood contact, barrel contact, for instance, with the mast or with the wine. It's the same thing. The only thing is that you put the resin in order to keep it in the wood. So this is a natural product that we collect from the trees, from the pine trees, especially Pinus halepensis, and we put one, like legislation says, 1 to 10 per million per portion in contact during the alcoholic fermentation. So you leave it in the first clarification, and this contact, the two elements, they speak each other, but after they separate, but the one remembers the other, just like the good. So during this, it is an extraction. So for this alcoholic fermentation happens in the same time that happens also in extraction. This is the way that I saw all this production process all my years, like because I was I am a chemical engineer also. So for me, it is an extraction simultaneously with an alcoholic fermentation. So this extraction has good and bad factors, and we want to ameliorate all the factors in order to achieve the quality that we want. In this, I have started to work how all these factors would make the better wine we could. So I have used the Assyrtiko, and after how all these factors, all these steps would be as qualitative as it should. And I'm drawing the way. So the Retsina is a wine like all the others that has a contact during alcoholic fermentation with natural resin.
Yeah, and could you only make it with Assyrtiko, or could you also
No.
make it with other kinds of grapes?
Legislation says not the grapes. For me, it is, let's say, it is an ibris, we say in Greek. I don't know. It is called ibris. It's an accent. It's very bad if you are making it with an international variety. It's out of mind for me. But Retsina was make the most of the times from Rhodidis and Assyrtiko, which is making Rhodidis and Savatiano, which it's another type. It is making a very fresh wine if you are vinifying qualitative. And also all the regions that were making the Tina from the variety that they had. For me, the potential of Assyrtiko, first of all, Assyrtiko is my favorite variety. I think it can make magic in everything, but in Retsina also, and it is very expressive. So we are creating Retsina that can age, because the potential of aging in Assyrtiko, it is enormous if you are working in a vineyard as you have to. Our vineyard, my own vineyard, is in Rumenica in Hierakona, 300 meters up, and Assyrtiko, I think, has a potential in Retsina enormous, because you see, when you add resin in a wine, you can think of something like the wood. When you are in contact with the wood, the potential, it's a expositional way of gray of being, because you have two factors. You have the factor of the grape and the factor of the pine, of the resin, that also has different types. This is what we found in the research, because till now we were telling all the Retsina made. We had ameliorated the way of the grape, of vinification, everything, but we were saying, bring me resin. So it was something close box, bring me resin. But what is this, and in which condition you will have it in contact with your mouth, that will be wine?
Yeah, so you have to have specific grapes, indigenous grapes from Greece, but also the resin what you harvest from the pine trees it's also a very intriguing and complex process. But
Okay.
how do you know? Uh, uh, because do you have your own uh, vineyards, and do you have your own forest of pine
No, I
woods?
don't have
Or
forest. We would like to, but in Greece we have a beautiful forest. We have our vineyard. First of all, the most important thing, of course, is the grape. First of all, I'm speaking for the next step, because I think that everything else, it is, it has to be like that. There is no question that we have to vinify I'm vinifying this wine especially, but it's not all the Retsinas in a barrel, New York barrel, the till third year, and all the other factors, we have worked on them. Now, in the new project, it is the resin that we are focusing, because we have solved, I think, the most of the other problems. The forest, it is not ours, but we have special collectors that they will collect for us. But till now, even we had noticed in one collector who was saying, bring us resin. Maybe he was buying it, or he was taking it from the collection. Also, he was collecting it, but we were not seeing how he's doing his work. We knew, we knew that he's putting um, a paste of sulfuric acid in order to make the tree to flow more. And I was working like that previous years. And when you have an experience working all these years, you think, if I don't do it like that, because my forest, it's sure that the forest and the tree doesn't like it. What is if my wine doesn't like it also? And first, for me, first of all, is the quality, but the sustainability is also very important. And we have worked it in the other way, naturally, to leave it free. And you know, the the nature knows better all the time. And it is, I don't know what we had to do if with the sulfuric acid would be better than not, but the nature knows. So without the sulfuric acid, we found that the elements that gives heavy aromas in our wine, from the pine, oily aromas, are almost in zero. And without the sulfuric acid, free run, flow, leave the tree to be expressed. Then, in the other hand, we had terpinen for all, for instance, or all other who have worked in the chemistry of the pine and the chemistry of this contact. So we have seen this project in the same time, like winemakers, but also like researchers, in order to see what about the quality, what about the tree. And we don't have to answer your question because I'm speaking in the other. We have not our own trees, but we have collectors that they are willing to do this job without sulfuric acid because this is the most difficult. Anyway, the collectors are people that they are taking this advantage to collect from the trees of the forest from the government because it is social. They gave them something. There are people that they have social criteria in order to have the right to do this, and they tell them which trees. It's something like the barrels. You see, they are taking which trees they'll take. Here, the tree, it's not cutted. It has a small the outside part, and it anyway the pines gives you free run resin. Anyway, the resin, that's why it is from the authenticity, because
Yeah.
this product, it is the nature's choice. It's not me. I'm very small in these thousands of years, not the others that will come. We are making just a small work to try to understand all this enormous potential for me. When you put this resin on, it has a lot of potential. You have in terroir in two in the square
Yeah.
because you have the terroir of the vine and the terroir as we have so of the pine.
Yeah, then that's why doing research is very important. But the assumption could be every pine is giving the same kind of resin, but it's not because it's also about the terroir, about the soil, about yeah, the humidity, the climate, everything. And but do you also done research in different kinds of pines, or because
This is a very good question. The pine that the law can be because there are very type of pines. It is Pinus halepensis tree also only. It is this specification in the law of 1979, which had Greece the recognition of appellation by tradition for Retsina. So it is only Pinus halepensis. But now you are coming to something, I can say a few things, to my next work, which will be more specific to the phenotype of, because it's sure that the pine Pinus halepensis, it's not one person, has families. So we will set the families. Now I will have set the regions. There is a lot of regions also to these researches can last years, I don't know, decades. Maybe not of me, but
yeah, yeah, because
we will
maybe
go to
there are different clones.
to the one person and the family now to see which family. So the collector is very important, but where is the forest and how you collect it is also very important. And I would say to you that it's not so easy to have our own forests, not only because we don't have forests, but also because even if we plant a tree, it has to pass more than 20 years in order to be able to be collected. So they don't leave you anywhere. This tree, it is protected. Pine, it is protected in Greece. Even if it's your own, you cannot make whatever you want. You cannot cut it. Even if it is in your yard.
It's very important. You have to protect everything.
And
Before,
it is a social factor also, because all these guys that they are collecting, like that, they will have a more qualitative product, and it is social the right to collect. And I see also that's why I was telling to you that Retsina, it's a lot more things than one wine.
yeah.
It's culture, it's civilization, it is social, it is sustainability, it is how good is the wine if you like it, first of all.
Yeah, because it's another kind of wine, but there are a lot of wines to discover. One of the main reasons I discovered this wine was I saw it on the Great Greek Wines list, and I talked to Yanis Karakasis in an episode of Sparks by Vinofunk, and he told me, yeah, Julie Harding, one of the judges of the Great Greek Wines, also a master of wine, was super enthusiastic about this wine. Gave it very high scores on Gentis Robertson score, like I think 18 points, and other ones.
18.5 in the
Yeah,
both Stergianos Thalassino and 17.5 in Fos, Kalos
yeah.
Fos.
Did you talk to her about this?
I didn't have the chance to talk to her, and we have sent her by mail, thank you, but I would like really to have the chance to speak to her. First of all, I wanted to say that this made me feel safe, because it is something else to um, feel because I'm passionate with Retsina. I'm drinking a lot of types of this wine. I thinking I'm making something good, but if somebody from outside didn't tell you, maybe you are making bullshit. I don't know.
Yeah,
Eh,
doing research could make you feel very lonely because uh,
because
you're
research is
passionate.
something, it's something important, but the most important end in research, we have all the degustation parts. It is not a research chemistry, it is a wine. So we want to make something that will pleasure. And this is the point. So the research focus this. So I'm very glad, and in this the score, it was impressively high, maybe the highest of not maybe the highest of Greek Retsina she had ever. And she's an expert of the highest level. Everybody trusts her opinion, me, of course. So it made me feel very confident. And the highest, most of, or among of the highest that ever taken some Greek wines. So Retsina, to be in this level, it shows the potential, and that Retsina can be part of the Greek wine elite, and has a lot of potential. And also, I would say something from Yanis Karakasis. uh, I have gained a lot of Retsina metals in the past, and in the new project, I said this circle closed for me. I think that I'm making my job. I like judges like Julia Hartley and people that they will, but I won't enter in another competition. The only exception that we made it is this, because this is not a competition, just a competition. This is something that takes your wine and makes after work, and we wanted to support it, and we didn't focus in the award medal. Of course, when it came, it made us feel like something well done from somebody that you trust, and the transparency and the way of working on this competition, it is a lot in my style. That's why I said we won't go to competitions, only to the great Greek wines for the new project, because sometimes some type of wines, some not type, some wines, they don't need to be that in this style, but they not to be more the marketing and the part because in order to judge Retsina, you have to see other parts also. You have to see all this that I'm trying to explain.
Yeah. And so it has a very positive impact on your wines also, the Great
O-
Greek Wines
Of
competition in
course,
Berlin?
because after they are making a lot of job, and this is the most important. This is what I was saying. It is not only a competition, a transparent competition, but it's also something that takes your wine, and so the impact is this big. And I want to support this effort and to take from this effort also because really there is a lot of people that they started to know our wine because of Great Greek wines. Anyway, Yanis Karakas is even before the this competition, he was the first one that made the podcast, and he saw this effort that I was making. And for me, in November last year, that it was the days that we were launching this project, I was it was really very important, and I felt you really think it's good. You really because this not only the wine but all the effort of the years of work of scientific research that the resin is important to be like that for you. It is something that it tastes also good. It's all it is in my mind and in others researchers' mind.
Yeah. Yeah, I can totally understand that. You sent me 3 great bottles. Could you tell me something about these bottles, or do you want to taste first and then tell something?
At the same time, I would say in the beginning that these 3 bottles are the first 2 are from 2022 vintage, and the third it is 2020. The first 2 wines are from the same variety, from the Assyrtiko, from the same vineyard, which is in Geracona in Goumenissa of Kilkis. It is 350 altitude, and but they have the same terroir in the vine terroir, and they are harvested together. And the only thing that they have in difference, it is the resin. The resin Thalassino says here, this is Kalos, 1979. Kalos is the wine, and Thalassino, it is the resin that it is near by the sea, and the trees are almost their feet in the water by the sea. And the other one is the same grape, the same tank, and after in the beginning and after different barrels with different resin. Stergianos, it is in Megara, in the mount of Attica, which is in the mainland. As mainland in Greece, it is not so far from the sea. Everywhere it is near,
Yeah.
but it's far away than this one. And they have different style in the matter of point of resin, the background style. And you will have created 2 different wines. And why this? All the resins in my new job and in from now to my wine career to the future are sustainable. I won't vinify resin again with resin, no sustainable. And in sustainable resin, we found forest terroir, which or I had searched it in uh, the resin which was not sustainable with the sulfuric paste that put on the tree in order to make it run a lot of resin, and I couldn't find because it was the oily character and the character of all these procedures that was covering maybe the expression of the plant. And I'm sure that there are also other reasons, but these 2 are our first project. So we have 2 wines from 2 different forests and the same vineyard.
And So the raisin is different. The wine is the same, but is the amount
The
of
wine
raisin?
begins the same because it's not the same during the processor. It is in another barrel, but it begins the same harvest, and it begins in the tank the first 2 days till the clarification, and after the first clarification, not the clarification of the end of the alcohol production, and we put it in the barrel. After we are making also a cold fermentation in Assyrtiko because I like it a lot, and we are vinifying in very low degrees, 14 to 16.
Because you want to preserve the fruitiness of the grapes.
Yes. First
Yeah.
of all this we haven't talked about that. You are speaking, I'm sure, to all the other podcasts because I think that it is like that. It cannot be something. Of course, we have first of all, it's the fruit, and in the first nose, you are taking. You have to feel the fruit. Now we are in 2022, which is not for Retsina, for classic Retsina, this traditional one, this is very old. But for this type of wine, this is new. This is young still. So 2022, in the first note, we have all these citrus aromas of Assyrtiko. And when you are going to the next step, you have in the background come a style of sea. It is more citrus. It is, in the other hand, the citrus aroma, but also you feel the sea. It is very characteristic that the tree gives you this style of ostracos of you smell iodium a lot. You smell, of course, the pine, but you smell it in a very lemon style.
Yeah. Very refreshing. But I also thought I was in Chios a couple of years ago, and in Chios they make mastic from the tree, and I thought, okay, this is the same characteristics of
It is the same. It has smells masticha of Chios, of course.
yeah.
It is the same category of product, mastic and resin, but it's from another tree. But you know, in the ancient Greeks, they were making resinated wine from whatever they had, of course, and from masticha or from mastic trees. But now, from 1979, the specifications are very specific, and it is Pinus halepensis tree because this is what in Mediterranean all these years we were used because Pinus, you know, masticha, there is also only in Chios, but in all Mediterranean you find the vine and the pine, and this type of pine.
Yeah.
And so you have food, not only traditional Greek food, but you could have sea a sea bass, or you have something with really butter taste of cheese, but also you will have ostracus, a lot of style of this, and it is not a wine that goes. Of course, Retsina goes with olive oil, and that's why we have it all these years because this olive oil, a lot of olive oil, is difficult in some wines. But here we have also possibilities in the international kitchen, I think, that smells all this character of if you are down of a tree by the sea, it takes you there. And Retsina, it is the essence of Retsina to have a pure resin, a pure grape. We are near the essence, and you have the essence of the place. That's why Retsina, it is very interesting for me because it is not only the wine, but it is also the sense of place that you have, the sense of Greece, the sense of the summer, the sense of having good times. So on the other hand, if you want, we can go to the next one, and I'll keep my glass. And we have Stergianos, which is 1979, Kalos. And you have Stergianos, which is another resin. Till now, we would have all these resins together. That's why you will see in 2020 that I haven't discovered that the sustainable resin will give me. I was thinking about it. That's why I was researching. I made a lot of lots in experimentation in order to find if it works. But in 2020, I didn't know that in 2022 I would be sure to bottle two different wines. That's why it is a blend, the other one, of resins. So here we have in the first known the citrus aromas, but they are more round, in my opinion, even if it's the same tank that goes in different barrels with different resins.
Yeah, yeah, it's much more round and much more complex and more waxy nose. Waxiness in your
Yes. And in the next nose, it is the style. In the background, you have the botanic style of herbs, more herby. And this we found it also in the chemistry work study that we have done. We found the compounds that are more in this and less in this, and the other that are more. This is, for me, it's very interesting, and it is a lot more to see. We don't know everything now. We know. I'm trying to put all this stuff in an order. I'm thinking, I'm feeling like I'm watching the possibilities of this product, and all the times I'm feeling, oh, there is more. So here is much more complex. Not if we would paint it, rather it would be like that, and this is like that in a line, so, and like that, and this has also. This is more the style, even with no sustainable resin before, the area that most of Greek Retsinas are taking the resin, it is it is Evia and Megara-plateau. So this is a style with an elegant profile, but the style that we have vinified also before. It is more we see that we know it a bit. So I know that this is aging very, very good, especially now that we don't have the oily character and we have only the herby. That is what the rosemary, the thyme.
Yeah, yeah, and it's much more round. The acidity uh, is a little bit lower. In the first one, it's more spiked.
It is not.
Yeah,
It sounds lower for me too, but
yeah,
it is not. It is the acidity is the acidity of the grape. The grape is the same boxes in
yeah,
the same tank. They had made the cold pre-fermentation together because it's before the resin addition. But it is more round. It is different. I like a lot, and the most important to me, even if somebody likes it this more or the other, it is that they are different, because this is what's not obvious when we were going to 2020 and we were vinifying. That's why we have put it together. That they would be different, and that would be all the years different. That means that it is not by chance. Now we have 2022 bottled differently, 2023 and 2024. Now we are, and from 2020, I'm searching if sustainable resin could be different all the time. And in 2020, I have put it in the same because I found different things, but I was not sure that it would happen next year also. In 2021, I made the same. In 2022, I took the opportunity and said, no, I'll bottle them differently. So this is 2020, and it is a a blend of resins. It is the same vineyard, the same vineyard. I mean, in Geracona in Greece, my own vineyard, and here we have resins from three regions. Sorry, it is the first two, Halkidiki, which is by the sea, and Megara. But we have also Corinthos resin in Peloponnese. And we have blended these three different wines that we have vinified with the same grape. And we have bottled one bottle.
And
Here,
and the
what do
color
you found?
is slightly different. Is
Of
that because
course.
of the bottle aging, or is it because of
No, of the bottle aging, and this year also it is much, but because I see now in 2021, it is a little less different. It evaluated, but I like this yellow because I think Assyrtiko gives his best in Retsina also when the resin is not it's appropriate. Give its best later, and I like it in maturation a lot. And here we have more nuts in the style of. We have this citrus marmalades all
yeah?
the style in the first. Sometimes the minerality also, I think, we find here, and it makes you feel sometimes that it is like a gewusst. It's something that you are waiting. You don't know what you are going to drink. It's very very different from that you have this petrol character. That's why I'm saying this. It's not, of course, the style.
Yeah, and a lot of dried fruit, but also still fresh fruit, fresh lemon and lime zest, but also some grapefruit peel of a little bitterness, and it makes it very complex at the same time.
Here, I would dare to say that I would drink it with heaviest um, meat, because for me the first wine was fish Ostracus. The second wine it is white meat and fish with butter and things. And the third is heavier things, but also I would like it with yellow cheese or with camembert. For me, and marmalade together. It can go like, even if it has different things that you can taste. It is something that for me you can have it also with a fried cheese with marmalade.
Yeah,
Even
it's
a
very interesting
French
because
cheese.
it's very complex, but the acidity isn't as high as the first one. And
Yes, of course. It is maturation. It is another year that it is not so high the acidity. That's true.
yeah, but it's very very complex, but also at the same time it's very accessible because it's not blowing your mind up like, oh, what's happening. It's very calm in your mind,
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Yes, and these three wines, they need time in the bottle and time in the glass. If you open them, and even if you split your glass and you smell with the oxygen later, they open more. So this is what I'm doing. Even if I have drunk it all, I'm smelling the glass to see and it is the best part to smell
Yeah.
the glass.
Yeah, it's very aromatic, and it's not a typical aroma of a wine. It's new for me. Yeah,
I'm
it's like
glad.
walking to a forest and walking beside the sea, but also like springtime. Everything is blooming and everything is growing.
Yes, the
Yeah,
springtime, the time of the more earthy, the second one, more more hot, and after the August that goes in the next one. Yes, but this is why Retsina stayed. I think that the bad thing of Retsina, the bad wines, who have made it the last destinies. And after we have started to make a very good work, because now there are two destinies that people are working a lot. And otherwise, people, the Byzantines, they wouldn't drink if it was not good. Because otherwise it wouldn't stay. I mean that the cheap things of vinificating to every wine it makes bad. It is our decision to do it, even if we were thinking it's not the product that is this one. The product has enormous possibilities. That's why stayed these 1,000 years, and we have to walk the way to find them and to show them with the science. We have there now how to do it. We know how to. We have to make this work
Yeah.
and to
And
have this philosophy, sustainability, quality, science, because quality is first of all for me. Science and sustainability, it's what in order, and of course to go beyond tradition with the respect of the heritage, not to make Retsina international variety, not to put Retsina chips instead of barrel. These things that are or another style that it couldn't exist, because we have to respect this history and to go it forward.
yeah, and are you doing some new experiments with other kinds of raisins? Because in the 2020 you have three kinds of raisin. Then you
Other
make
reasons,
yeah,
not for the moment, not for the moment. Other reasons, but other kind of reasons, yes. Not from other regions, but I'm trying to search the different regions and the trees in other, because the factors of quality of Retsina that begins from quality of the resin, not the grape. I told you has to be like it has to. Are a lot. It's not only the resin. It's not only the way of taking sustainable or putting not sulfuric acid in the collection. It is other things also. When you you will harvest it, uh, what type of tree is this, or it is, and other factors in the microclimate of the pine.
yeah, and it's a premium product, but the wines aren't available yet in the Netherlands. But what could you describe the consumer price, like the shelf price of the wines?
The consumer price in Netherlands, I don't know to tell you. In Greece, I can tell you. It's about uh, the 2020. It is about 16 euros, and about 25 euros. It is the micro vinifications in Greece. We have now 10 to 11 months that we have launched this project, and even till now we have 4 countries exportation. I hope that soon will be in Holland. I think it will happen in next year. It's not or next month. We have in the plans, but it is so in the beginning.
Yeah, but you
In
already
Germany there is.
exporting.
In,
You're
in
already
Canada.
exporting to other countries. And what other countries are you available?
We have just started in Germany, in Canada, in UK, and in Belgium. So we
So
are coming.
yeah, so it's around the Netherlands.
We are
So
coming. We are
yeah,
coming.
yeah, it has to come here. And so that's one thing you want to do in the future. What other things do you want to do in the future?
I want to do things in my life. I have worked so hard. I want to work less. And now I'm working less. I'm doing dance. No, but you asked for the wines. So I think that I'll stay to Retsina. I have vinified other white wines and red wines, and I love Cinnamon and in the area. But I think that this I'm passionate in this, and I think that I'll make other types of Retsina also because there's a lot of subtypes to work and a lot of work to do.
Yeah,
It's
maybe a
very small
blush or a
things that we
claret
have
style.
done. Hmm?
Maybe a blush or a rosé or a claret style.
Maybe, yes. For the moment, I will search a little bit more in the resin, in the white. I'll stay in Assyrtiko, which is my love, and my vineyard, and because maybe I'll make will make something. I like a lot of it in the fresh style of Retsina also, but it's another wine for the moment. No, and I don't know. For the moment, I will search some type of different resins in Assyrtiko and maybe a little more fresh, maybe without barrel, because it is also it is very complex, and maybe in this resin you can work without covers, nothing. You want to sew it a
Yeah,
bit more.
yeah, it's very interesting. I learned a lot today, and I
Thank
hope
you.
everybody who listened and watched us also learned a lot. If they have any questions, I will leave your contact details of Instagram or your website in the show notes. Uh, and is there something you want to say to the people who watched or listened and think, okay, I want to try it? What do they have to do?
I think that, like everything in life, you have to try without pre-thoughts. You have to live and live it, feel it, and it will drive you. It is like that in life anyway.
Yeah. Well, that's nice words to close this conversation. Eleni, thank you very much for your time. Thanks again for making these beautiful wines. I learned a lot. Different kind of raisins, the same grapes, a blend of the raisins. It's beautiful. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jeroen.
This
Thank
was a new episode of Sparks by Vino
See.
Vonk. We're going to toast Yamas and
Damas.
Yamas and
Like
see
that.
see you next time in a new episode of Sparks by Vino Vonk.